Welcome to the Conquering Chronic Illness Show. I'm your host, Daphne Wiswell, the chronic illness coach. And each week, I'm going to be bringing you stories, strategies, and sparks of hope that I pray will encourage you on your journey through life as a conqueror. If illness, mindsets, or other obstacles have held you back from living the life you desire, and you've been looking for real hope, real strategy, and real connection, then you've come to the right place. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, I wanted to share this. This has been on my heart because I know that a lot of people right now are really struggling with their prescription costs. So I thought I'm just going to get on here and share a couple tips that maybe you're not aware of. I recently helped a client of mine save about $500 a month just by telling her one of these things that she could do. And so talking with her and talking with a couple of other families, I thought, let me just jump on here and share some of these tips because some of this stuff is going to take a little bit of time. There's some effort involved, but it's something that anyone can do. And this can benefit anyone no matter what income bracket you're in. So if you know someone that's low income, if you know someone that's like, oh, I never qualify for financial assistance because we make too much money. This isn't financial assistance, okay? Because there are ways that you can keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket, no matter what income bracket you fall in, okay? So the number one thing that you want to do is know your benefit plan. So I'm looking at my notes because I'm like, what are the things that I do? What is so crucial and important to know? Know your benefit plan, because here's the thing. If you have an expensive medication that you use on an ongoing monthly basis, or something that is considered DME. And for those of you who don't know, DME stands for durable medical equipment. So that would be things like an oxygen tank, an insulin pump, things that are more considered equipment and not necessarily a prescription. That a lot of times falls under the DME category. But here's the thing to know. Sometimes regular medications fall under a DME category because it's specialty. They consider it to be more expensive. I don't know how they decide these things, okay? Who knows how they decide them, but you need to know your benefit plan. So what that means is that you would call your insurance company and say, who do I talk to about my pharmacy benefits? And do I need to talk to somebody else about my durable medical benefits? Because here's what I found out several years ago. One of our son's prescriptions was covered on both sides. It was covered under pharmacy and it was covered under DME. So we could have gotten it either place, either from our local pharmacy or from a mail order pharmacy or from a durable medical equipment supplier. But the way that our plan paid out the benefits was drastically different. So for example, in one case, we could order it from a mail order pharmacy and the prescription would have cost, I think it was like $90 a month. Whereas if we ordered it on the durable medical side, the plan would pay enough to where our copay was only $6. So that's a big difference. Had nothing to do with our income status, no financial assistance, anything, just simply knowing what our benefit plan says and how it pays out. And so super, super important. Which side is your prescription covered under? And if you can get it from both, what would the difference be in what comes out of your pocket? Okay, so know your benefit plan. Call your insurance company, ask lots of questions about who to talk to. And a lot of times insurance companies will even have, this is the second thing you need to know, preferred vendors. So that means that your insurance company may say, you can order your prescriptions from wherever you want. And that might be true. A lot of insurance companies are like, no, you have to go through this pharmacy, you have to use this place, whatever. Okay, fine. But sometimes if they say you can get it from anywhere you want, they still have, I swear this is like a secret that I learned maybe just 3 years ago, they still have a preferred vendor list. So they have contracts with these preferred vendors and they pay differently. It's kind of like the difference between going to an in-network or out-of-network doctor. They're not considered in or out-of-network pharmacies, but the preferred vendors, the insurance company will pay out differently. So call your insurance company and find out who their preferred vendors are, because typically If you ask them for a list of the pharmacies that they contract with, they'll send you a list that's 11 pages long. And then when you call them back and say, okay, but tell me who on this list are in your preferred vendors, they might only have 5 companies. So then scratch out all the other ones. I don't care if they're 5 minutes away from your house. You want to call the 5 companies that are considered their preferred vendors, because you're going to get the best bang for your buck if you use one of those companies. And so I'll give you an example on there too. We, a couple of years ago, I did this that I just told you about. Call your company, find out who your preferred vendors are. Also, they change every year. I don't know, at least with our insurance company, they always have. They change every single year. So this is like on your January list of to-dos, is find out what has changed on your benefit plan, because from year to year, something might be covered under pharmacy one year, and then the next year it's covered under DME. So every January you want to be calling and saying, how did my benefits change? Because even if you check the little box during open enrollment that says, I want to keep the same benefits, your company can make changes as to how things are paid out. And your insurance company can make changes about what kinds of things they'll cover. So a really simple example, I guess, is for anyone who deals with diabetes, there's all kinds of different insulins, but for whatever reason, every year I see people saying like, oh, we have to switch to this type of insulin because our insurance company won't cover that one anymore. Because if your insurance company is saying that they're not going to cover something anymore, that's probably usually not the case. You just have to jump through a couple extra hoops to keep getting the same prescription that you've been getting for a long time. Okay, so anyways, you want to get your list of preferred vendors, call those 5 people, and do price comparisons, because pharmacies are retail stores. And so that means that they act just like Target or Walmart. So Walmart might charge $10 for a pillow, whereas Target might charge you $20 for a pillow. And pharmacies are retail stores, so they do the exact same thing. They may be considered an in-network and preferred vendor for your insurance company, but they get to set the price of the medication or the durable medical equipment that you're ordering. So if, let me just give a real easy, straightforward example. Let me think of how I can do it. So let's say your medication is $100 a month, and your insurance has a plan where, or your insurance says, okay, we'll pay 80%, you pay 20%. That means that you would pay $20, right? Well, not if another pharmacy charges $500 for that same prescription, or $1,000 for that same prescription. Do you see? Like, your 20% is going to go up because the retail pharmacy has decided that their price point is going to be a little bit higher. So while your insurance is still paying their agreed upon 80%, your 20% could be very different depending on which vendor you're using, because they're retail stores, they set their prices. So that's tip number 2. Find out who your preferred vendors are, and then call all of them and do some price comparisons. And a lot of them are going to say to you, oh, we can't give you that information over the phone. Oh, we need to have the prescription from your doctor. We can't estimate what the cost will be. Okay, fine. Have your doctor send the prescription to 5 different places. You don't have to fill it in 5 different places, but you want the information. You want to know how much that prescription is going to cost you with your specific benefits, the way that your doctor has written it. So it doesn't take that. Your doctors do everything e-script now. So it's just a matter of sending an email to a bunch of different places, and then you're the one making the phone calls. So it takes a while too. So maybe a week. You don't want to do this like the day before you're going to run out of your medicine. Give yourself about a week to make sure that your doctor has sent all the information that the company needs, and that they have all of the information from your plan. They're going to ask you, for your, your ID number and your group number, and do you have an RX bin number, and all these different kinds of things. And then it usually takes 3 to 5 days for them to get back with you with an estimate of what they're going to pay on your medication. So then you can decide which one is the most cost effective for you. Again, nothing to do with your financial status, nothing to do with assistance. Anybody at any income level can save money doing this stuff. Okay, get on Google and find out who the manufacturer is of the medication that you're using or the medical device that you're using, because a lot of times manufacturers will offer what is called Copay Assistance cards. And so what that means is that, like in the example I used before, if let's say your copay is $100 and you are like, I don't want to pay $100 for that. I want to keep my $100, which, why not? It's your $100. You go Google manufacturer of whatever the brand of insulin is, or a manufacturer of this EpiPen that I use, or a manufacturer of this inhaler, or whatever it is, and find out who the manufacturer is, go to their website and type in their little search bar, Copay Assistance, or you could even Google Copay Assistance for, and then your medication that you're looking at. And then you're gonna find out whether they have a Copay Assistance program. And what a Copay Assistance program does is it lowers your copay. And it only works if you have commercial like insurance, like through your employer. If you have a government plan, you know, something on the Affordable Care Act or anything like that, if you're doing on Medicaid, these things usually don't work. They automatically disqualify you. But again, has nothing to do with your financial status or your income level, because you simply go on there and you probably are going to put your name, your date of birth, the medication that you're wanting to get copay assistance for, and then what they do is they say, okay, we're going to give you copay assistance and you get this dollar amount per year. For example, one of my daughter's treatments, really pricey. Like if we didn't have insurance, it'd be $9,000 a month. With insurance, it's $150 a month. So doable, right? But with the copay assistance card, it's $5 a month. So we save $145 on that prescription because we went online and filled in a few questions that had nothing to do with our financial status or income level, and we were able to save that money. So those are 3 simple things you can do. Like I said, it takes some time, it takes some research, it takes some phone calls, but once you have all this stuff in motion, it feels really good to keep that money to use for whatever else you want to use it for. One final thought, there are a couple of apps, GoodRx and Needy Meds are really great apps to check on prices in your area. There was one, which medication did I look up recently? I did a search, because that's the other thing you need to know. Like big box pharmacies, I won't do any like slandering of big box, but you know who the big names are. You know, you see them on every street corner. They're not as, I guess, knowledgeable about how to use certain things that you can find. So like Needy Meds and GoodRx are programs where you can type in like, I'm looking for a pharmacy that carries this medication, and you can search for cash pay prices, you can search for all kinds of different things on there. But you're gonna find a drastic difference. Like I said earlier, they're all retail stores. So you're gonna find a drastic difference in the prices of the same medication, same dosage, same frequency, just by searching that app. So like, for example, a month ago, I was looking for something and I was just curious what the cash pay price would be. And at 2 of the local big box stores, it was going to be like anywhere from $200 to $350 for a 1-month supply. Whereas if I drove about 10 minutes further down the road and got it at a little mom and pop pharmacy that I've never heard of before, but it's not far away, it's $10. So, and that's cash price. That's like if I didn't have insurance. So that's something for people who aren't insured to know, is that no income qualifications, none of that stuff. Just do a little research, use those apps. They're really helpful in finding things so that you can keep more of your money. You can do the cash price thing on your different manufacturers' websites too. Sometimes they have cards where if you're not insured, you can print a card. Oh, that's what it was. We did it with my son's insulin. So I was curious to see what his insulin would cost if he didn't have insurance, and went on their website. No financial information. I love this. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't have to. I always thought that you had to be in a low income bracket to be able to save money on this stuff. And so a couple of years ago when I started doing some research, because my kids are all turning into adults, and I thought, well, if they decide to do who knows what, and my daughter's an artist, who knows what, if she'll have a typical job, like I just wanted to know what was going to be available to them. And so I think it's really reassuring to find out that there are programs that you can use without having to apply and say that you have a financial need. Okay, so my son's insulin, the cash price for a 1-month supply was going to be $99. And this is a big deal to me, because I don't know how many of you have seen in the news that people are dying because they don't have access to insulin in America. And it breaks my heart, but I want you to know that you can go to those manufacturers' websites and put in name, date of birth. I can't remember what else it asked. One other piece of information, but had nothing to do with our financial status, and printed out a card that looks like, it looked like an insurance card, and it had an ID number and a group number and the RX bin number, the PC, you know, all that stuff. And I took it to my local mom and pop pharmacy, not one of the big box pharmacies. And I said, would you run this and tell me what the price for the insulin is going to be? $99. And at another pharmacy, we can't make this work, and we don't know what this is, and can you tell us where you got this? And the cash price there was $2,400. Same insulin, same dosage, same frequency, same 1 month supply. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal, you guys. And this can save people's lives, and it can save people a lot of heartache and stress. Like, I just know that there are families who are right now choosing between food and housing and the medications that they or their children need to really thrive. And that breaks my heart. It shouldn't be that way. And if this has been helpful to you, please let me know. Please share it with a friend. I just want to make sure that people know that there are ways to get what you need without having to choose between food and housing or the medicine. I just hope that this helped you guys. Share it with a friend. If your aunt, uncle, grandma, coworker has complained to you about the price tags at the pharmacy, let them know that there are options out there. Bless you guys. Thank you for listening to the Conquering Chronic Illness Show. I bless you to know that you are more than a conqueror. And if you'd like to get around other women who are on a journey to developing that identity for themselves, that identity of conqueror, then you're invited to join me in my totally free Facebook group called The Conqueror Community. It's a place where you can connect with like-minded conquerors, women who are on a journey of conquering all the things that are ways to get what you need without having to choose between food and housing or the medicine. I just hope that this helped you guys. Share it with a friend. If your aunt, uncle, grandma, coworker has complained to you about the price tags at the pharmacy, let them know that there are options out there. Bless you guys. Bye.